It's easy to hear your favorite artist on WFPK from wherever you are. Listen on your smart speaker, live stream from our website at wfpk.org from Louisville Public Media.
Consequence Podcast Network.
And welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with the interview series presented by WFPK at wfpk.org, Consequence of Sound, and the Consequence Podcast Network. Thank you so much for making your way here, checking out this series. Hopefully you'll hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. You can find us at all the major spots like iTunes and Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Acast, Podchaser, or YouTube for the video versions. Put out 3 brand new interviews every single week, new ones every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So it's a great way to keep up with all of your favorite artists, discover some new ones, know what's happening in the music world. And today I'm talking with Adrian Smith. You might know him as the guitarist from Iron Maiden. He is back with a record, a collaboration record, I guess you'd call it, called Smith Kotzen, where he finds him teaming up with Richie Kotzen. Adrian and I are going to discuss their shared love of bands like Deep Purple and Free and Humble Pie, 3 bands that kind of influenced the sound of this record, as well as how the early blues influenced the music of hard rock that would go on to do, the sound that Iron Maiden took on years later. Adrian's also going to get into the album's themes a bit, an eye on getting away from the past and moving forward. He's also going to let us know what the live shows might sound like, and that includes some of both artists' back catalog. So let's do this, discuss this record, Smith Kotzen. It's Kyle Meredith with Adrian Smith.
Yeah, very well, thank you, very well.
Congratulations on this record. It's been such a fun one to listen to. And we should start with the obvious stuff. What attracted you to collaboration? How did you all end up doing this?
Well, I live part-time on the West Coast in California. I met Richie. There's lots of musicians here, everyone knows everyone else. So met Richie, we jammed a couple of times, became friends, discovered we like the same kind of music, we both I grew up on listening to early 70s bands like Free, Deep Purple, Humble Pie. And someone suggested, why don't you do some writing? So we sat down and write, and we hit it off, right away. I think by the end of the first day, we had about 3 songs almost, the structure of 3 songs. So, when you get chemistry like that, you got to run with it. So, we decided to press on and do the album.
You talk about having shared taste and everything, and I think it's been, said and written about already, but there is some of that, a good blues feel or the old R&B style. Where did that come from for you? Was that, as you're talking about, part of your own musical DNA?
Exactly, yeah. Well, when I was 15, I think my older sister left some records lying around. One of them was Deep Purple, Machine Head. So, I picked that up and put it on. It literally changed my life. I thought, this is what I want to do, And then I got into bands like Free, the band that the most famous songs are right now, but they had a lot of other stuff around that time. Fantastic, dirty, blues rock, Humble Pie, Steve Marriott, that sort of music's in my blood, That was my first influences. And I wanted to make a record, a hard rock record for a number of years now, because that's the sort of music I still love, I still listen to, That's what kind of moves me. So it wasn't, a stretch to do this. I've wanted to do it for a while, and to do it with someone as accomplished as Richie, let's face it, he does it for a living, So it was a great chance to do that,
This might be too broad of a question, but hard rock and that blues sound, they have been great bedfellows for the history of rock and roll. But I do wonder why it worked out so well. And I'm talking about, when you take the early sound of the blues, that the Muddy Waters back to Robert Johnson and all that. Why did that translate so well to what you all were doing, in hard rock and metal?
Well, I think what influenced me was the second or third generation blues. Obviously, you had the original, the people you just mentioned. And I've got into those people a bit more over the years. B.B. King's fantastic, Albert King, Freddie King, Albert Collins. I remember going to see Albert Collins once when I was on tour with Iron Maiden. we went down to Antoine's Bar in Texas. This is in the 1980s. And we went there after one of our shows, and Albert King didn't go on till like 11 p.m. or something. So when we got there, he was already playing, and he was in the car park. He had this long guitar lead, and all the crowd were following him. And then he came back in the club, and he was playing it up on the bar. It was absolutely fantastic, What a performer. I think in the 70s, white English musicians sort of took that music and just did something different with it, Then we had the Marshall amps, or you had the Marshall amps back in the day, turned up to 11, and electrified the blues, And, it just sort of, I think, something about blues, not that Smith Kotzen's a blues album, it's got blues elements in it, but something about the blues is it just makes you feel good, it's like getting something off your chest, And songs on the album are about life, the song Scars is about, the things you go through in life that really have a big effect on you, is that they scar you, if you like, and how you look at the future, So, between Richie and I, our voices and playing, it gives us a pretty broad canvas to paint on,
Yeah, it was interesting listening to this. I mean, knowing that you both wrote and sing, but there did seem to be a shared lyrical direction. I don't know if that was obvious. I don't know if that was on purpose by accident. But, what you're talking about a little bit with Scars there, and then on, like, the way I took it, there was a lot of what I heard, at least, was sort of getting away from the past and moving forward. Am I close?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I think you reach a stage in life where you sort of do that. I think when you're young, you tend to hang on to things that were maybe happened in your childhood. They do affect you deeply, and it's almost therapeutic, isn't it? Which is, again, coming back to the blues. That's how it started. It's like make you feel better, just get it off your chest. And I suppose that's with most music. Expression. Yeah, and as far as the songwriting go, I mean, we just have the same. We spend a lot of time on the lyrics. We sit around for hours working on the lyrics, because quite often when you come up with a song, you'll have a title or a phrase which will just stick, and you just can't get away from it. So then you have to write a song around that initial inspiration, and then you've got to make sense. And of course, it's got to sing well, which limits your vocabulary, because not every word sounds good when you sing it, so you have to take your time with the lyrics.
Did I read that you guys did this in Turks and Caicos?
Well, yeah, we went there in 2020. We took our wires. We thought we'd get a bit of sunshine, have a good time, and finish off the album down there. And you only need a laptop, a couple of good mics, some guitars, and you got a studio. So. Obviously we got some other stuff in as well, but yeah, it was good. I mean, I've been going down there since for about 10 years, so I love it down there. I love the people. I just love the atmosphere. And so Richie and his wife had never seen it, so we thought it'd be a good vibe to go down there and work.
Yeah, no, it's one of my favorite places on earth. I love going down there. Just I was thinking about it, the interesting juxtaposition of what you're singing about versus what I know the environment's like down there. It's like that's a good balance. That really is. Yeah,
but I mean, it's just a slight distraction, that sort of thing. You'll never get away from what you grew up and how you grew up and what you really are. I mean, you're down there, but it's superficial. The sunshine is nice, but the music is always with you. No matter where you are.
So I know it's hard to plan things right now, but will there be live shows to go along with this?
Well, we certainly had planned them. Before the pandemic. The album was recorded before the pandemic. It wasn't a lockdown album. So we had plans to tour around April. We kept the release date the same, March. We thought, well, why not? I'm sure people appreciate music, in this time. I know it's important to me. It's kept me sane, this past year. We wanted to do some live dates, and, who knows? There's light at the end of the tunnel. Maybe the end of the year we'll be able to do something. But at the moment, we can't go out at the moment. But I think these days you've got to be ready to go short notice, because things change so quickly, don't they? The rules change and the restrictions change, and they get lifted and put back, travel restrictions. Who knows? But I think towards the end of the year, people will start going out again.
Well, I do hope to see some. I've been watching you on Instagram, especially doing some of the lesser-known songs. So I don't know if you guys will be pulling from some of the back catalog, but I would love to hear some of those rarities, if so.
Yeah, it'd be big sign to put a set. Obviously, we'd need to bulk out the original songs with some stuff from both our past catalog. But I think it'd be really interesting, I really look forward to that, and we're really. I'm so pleased with the album. Like I said, I wanted to make an album like this for a long time, so I'd love to get out and play it live.
Yeah, well, Adrian, congratulations on this. It really is such a fun record to listen to. Thank you so much for the music, and man, thank you so much for taking the time to talk about it. This has been fun.
Hey, my pleasure. Thank you.
My thanks to Adrian Smith. Again, this record, Smith Kotzen, is out now. Thanks to you for checking out the episode. Before you get out, please do hit that subscribe button. 3 new interviews every single week is a great way to keep up with all of your favorite artists, and you can do it at iTunes and Apple Podcast, Spotify, Acast, Podchaser, YouTube for the video versions, or anywhere you like to get your podcasts from. After that, head over to w.f.p.k.org, where I do a show Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's an hour full of song premieres, music news, anniversary spins, bonus interviews, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern at wfpk.org. Consequence of Sound has your music and film news. You can also find me on the social media spots as well. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all 3 of them at Kyle Meredith. Also over on TikTok at Kyle Meredith 81. And that does it for another edition. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.
Consequence Podcast Network.
Do you read Stephen King? Good news. There's a club for you. The Losers Club. Every Friday, us losers journey through the never-ending wastelands of King's Dominion. We sink our teeth into each of King's novels, dive deep into the lore, and review every adaptation. Even better, we're always having guests over. Thomas Jane, Will Wheaton, Mary Lambert, Mick Garris, the list goes on. So what are you waiting for? Join us as we read on through long days and pleasant nights.
It's easy to hear your favorite artist on WFPK from wherever you are. Listen on your smart speaker, live stream from our website at wfpk.org, from Louisville Public Media.